Hey, Lori. So, thank you for spending time with me today. How are things going with Adrian?
Well, she moved out.
Okay.
She's living with her cousin, with the boys. I'm not too happy about that
And you're not happy about that because,
because I don't feel like it's a good environment. Her cousin's young too, and I feel like there's going to be no structure there, and they're just going to be doing the same things, making bad choices, and I'm scared that it's going to affect the boys.
okay. So you feel a great concern for the boys.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're still young, and they need stability, and they need set rules and a set bedtime, and just a stable, structured environment. And I feel like they don't have that. You know,
Do you feel frustrated because you feel like you cannot control the situation?
definitely, because on one hand, I want her to be close to me so I can know they're okay and safe, and but then at the same time, I know that she's got to go and handle it herself and provide for the boys.
Okay.
So it's I'm torn. I'm conflicted. You know, part of me wants to, get a bigger house and, just handle the situation. And then part of me wants her to handle it, and test her wings, so to speak, and see what she can do.
And you feel conflicted because on one hand you want her to be have that grow and learn that independence, yet on the other hand you want her to have structure and to learn structure so that she can provide that for the boys.
Exactly. And then, two, I partly feel like maybe I'm hurting her by helping her in a way. Like maybe I'm stifling her growth instead of helping it.
And you feel like you're hurting her in what ways?
Well, because if I'm taking care of everything and she never has to step out of her comfort zone and, you know, provide for the boys, or not that she doesn't, but, she could do better, that maybe I'm cheating her out of becoming the best person that she could possibly be, if that makes sense.
Okay. So you're still feel like you're either way go you feel like you're in a lose-lose situation because of the way you want to help her, but you want to let her go.
Exactly. And I'm just not sure, it seems like it's a balancing act, and I'm just not sure, what'll tip the scales. Because sometimes I get frustrated and then I say things probably that I shouldn't, and that frustrates her. And it's just like this constant thing.
So complete the sentence about the situation with her, the living arrangement before she moved. You feel frustrated because
Because she wouldn't do the small things that I asked her to do, like cleaning up after the boys, or, you know, small, menial little chores around the house, or, just making sure they got their medicine on time and in the way that they were supposed to get it, or, you know, bedtime on a regular basis at a regular time, you know, things like that. I know she's still young and maybe doesn't fully understand the importance of these things, but it still is very frustrating to me.
so it seems like you guys have been going through a lot lately, and that has been both frustrating at the same time out of control in a sense.
I think a lot of it's unspoken, like,
Okay.
because she'll sigh or roll her eyes, but she won't really just cross that line, about maybe just saying what she thinks or anything like that. I mean, so that's probably a good thing.
You feel that there is something more that she wants to say because she sighs and roll her eyes?
Yeah, I feel like she wants to say a whole bunch of things that she doesn't.
She knows there's consequences.
Exactly. But there's consequences for me too. I can't always just say what I want to say. At the same time, I have to take into consideration that she's young and still learning. And, I try to look back at my life when I was her age, and, you know, I didn't have it together either. So I can't be too harsh. But at the same time, she's got more responsibility than I did at that age. She's got two young boys. Both of them are under 3, and yeah, it's just she still wants to be young and have fun with her friends and do what she wants to do, but you know
In
you
a,
can't always do it.
and you feel like there's a cycle from the way that you grew up and the way that you started your life and the
Well,
way that she's living her life.
our circumstances were different. When I was growing up, I lived with both my mom and my dad, and everything was really pretty stable, and it was good. I had a great childhood. Her, on the other hand, I never married her father. We weren't together after she was about 5 or so, and so she was very much raised as an only child. I don't feel like she had all the benefits that I had, mostly through my choices. So, but then there's similarities too. But I think that's more along the lines of personality than you know circumstances.
And what similarities do you see?
Well, we're both stubborn and hard headed. Um, we're both kind of stubborn. I try to remember what I was like when I was her age, and so yeah, we were probably very much alike in that regard. Thought we knew what was best for us. Didn't really want to listen to too much advice or
In what ways do you see that is impacting your relationship and the circumstances you're experiencing right now?
well, I think in the past what'll happen is we'll just leave each other alone for a little while, and then we'll just kind of slowly ease back into just average everyday type things, like watching the boys or just coming by to visit her. Is that your question? I'm sorry.
Well, the way that you guys have similar personalities and how it has an impact on your relationship and the circumstances that you're going through now. The conflict that you're experiencing when you guys were living together, now that she's moved out, the same personalities that you see in her that you see in yourself, do you feel like in some way that's causing you guys to bump heads a lot?
Yeah, because we're both kind of, like I said, stubborn and maybe prideful. Um, I feel like she was just blatantly disrespectful. So part of me doesn't want to be the one to break first, so to speak. I don't know. It seems kind of silly when you say it out loud, but um, maybe to make the first step or to open the door, so to speak. Um, Part of me wants her to do it. Part of me wants her to come and like apologize and say, "Who's wrong?" I'm sure she probably feels the same way. You know.
And you feel she was disrespectful because she.
Well, I mean, I don't feel like I required a lot of her while she was here. Really just the only thing I ever asked her was to take out the trash. And, it was a constant battle trying to get her to do that. or, you know, to clean up after the boys, or, you know, just it's almost like anything I asked her to do, she just was resolute not to do it. And just because I asked her. And that's, I don't know, maybe it was my imagination. I don't think so, but, but yeah, it was very frustrating because I feel like I didn't put a lot of demands on her. And maybe I never have. And so when I do, she rebels.
So you feel like because you haven't put a lot of demands on her, she rebels against you as an adult now.
Well, she probably
But she's
rebelled
an
either
adult.
way, but because I was pretty rebellious too. I am pretty rebellious.
I would like to circle back around to a statement that you said earlier about the unspoken. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, like, what do you mean?
Well, you said you feel like there was a lot of unspoken between you.
Hmm.
What did you mean?
Well, like, sometimes it's better not to say anything than to say something in your frustration and in those moments when you're, you know, when you are at that frustrated level. So you just kind of don't really address it. You don't really get to the core of what it is that's really bugging you or bothering you.
And you feel like that leaves a void because you don't speak what's on your heart or you don't say what's on
Yeah,
your
because
mind.
then you never really address the real root of what the problem is. And I think throughout my life, I've had a really, it's challenging for me to do that. I'm not sure why, but I don't like to tell people how I really feel, or, you know, I don't like to tell people what I really think
Okay.
very often.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for stepping outside of your box
Thank you.
and telling me how you feel about this situation. I know it was a little challenging for you, but I would like to elaborate and us talk about this a little bit more
Okay.
later on. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.